Hey y'all, and welcome to Modern
Market, and welcome to my high-end rustic farmhouse Dollar Tree decor. Literally 95% of everything in this video comes from the Dollar Tree. DIY number one, I am so stinking in love with. These little pots I found in the new spring section, and they are made of wood, and they are so doggone adorable. Now, I knew I wanted to use those for feet, so I needed 4 packs so that I could have the same size on all 4 of my feet. This little wood plaque, you can find these all the time at Dollar Tree. So I kind of sized them up to see which one I wanted, and I essentially just went with the biggest pot that they had just to raise it up a little bit higher off the ground. And I kind of tried to figure out where I wanted the feet, and once I figured out my placement, I glued it on with, yes, you know it, my wood hot glue sticks. And you want to make sure you do that before you stain it, because you just kind of want it wood on wood with that glue and not have any like paint or stain in between, just so it holds a little better. So once I got my little legs on there, I took my Antique Wax by Waverly, as always, and I went in and brushed stain over everything, including the feet, because you'll see me in just a minute paint them white. But then I also want to take my little hand sander and sand it down, and I wanted it dark up under that. I didn't want to paint it white, sand it down, and then it be like distressed with light up under it. Does that even make sense? So I took my white Waverly chalk paint and painted my little feet. It was a little bit, I wouldn't say hard, but maybe tricky to do without getting it on the base, but I just took the wipe that already had the stain on it, because I used it, to wipe off the excess. And when I took it and just like, Lord have mercy, y'all, that was my cat knocking something down off the shelf behind me. That's what that noise was. Anyway, I took that little rag that you see there, it's a wipe that I was wiping off the excess Antique Wax with, and I was going around where a little bit of paint might have gotten on the base, and I really couldn't tell if it was cleaning it off or if it was staining over the white paint on the bottom. But whichever way it was doing it, it worked, and you couldn't even tell that the paint touched the base. So it turned out absolutely perfect in the end. Once I got all 4 of those little feet painted and set them aside to dry, I want to say I gave them 2 coats of the white chalk paint, if I remember right. Yeah, I do. That's where I'm going over it there. Give them 2 coats of the white chalk paint. I took my little hand sander from the Dollar Tree and went in and just sanded them down and distressed it. And I could not have been any happier with the way they turned out. You really can't tell that they were little fake mini pots when I'm done, and I'm just so in love with it. Like, I could have stopped right there and been totally happy, but you know me, I'm extra, so I had to add a little bit more to it. Now, this is part of our French Country Minis with Chalk Couture. I love that entire sheet, and it has like 12 different little French Country Mini designs on it, but I picked this little bee design because I'm going to set this little tray on my new kitchen sink. It's a new kitchen farmhouse sink that my husband got me for Christmas. And I have this little bottle of dish soap not dish soap, but hand soap that I just keep refilling and refilling and refilling. And it's got a little bee on it. And I thought this would be perfect to set beside it and watch the magic here. Watch. Look at that. I am such a fanatic over Chalk Couture. See the left-sided, now I'm just showing you a couple different ways that you can style it, but that little bottle right there is the one I'm talking about. And look how cute that turned out, y'all. I love it. It is so high-end looking to me, and I'm telling you, I would have paid $10 or $15 for that little tray at Kirkland's or Hobby Lobby all day long and never even scoffed at it, because I'm so in love with it. But look how cute it is. Let me know down in the comments what you think about DIY number 1. Now for DIY number 2, I kind of got an idea. I've been wanting to do another lantern. I haven't done a lantern in a long time. And I found these beautiful shaped little picture signs or whatever they're called. And I noticed that one was tucked inside of the other, and I thought, there we go. That will make a perfect lantern. So what I'm showing you here is just different things that you can use to raise it up. You can use any of these things. The smaller dowels, that's the one that I eventually went with, that you can get from the Dollar Tree. You could use those tumbling tower blocks. You could use the paint stir sticks. And that dowel rod right there that I picked up, that big long one, those were in my stash from Home Depot from, I don't know, I got them for something a long time ago and never used them. But anyway, I'm just taking my wood glue and my wood hot glue, and I'm gluing these down, then putting the top piece upside down on top of that. That's the same size as the bottom. Hope that makes sense. And I had a little bit hard time taking these stickers off, so you guys know the trick. Just put a little bit of heat to it and they come right off. And then the littler one, I took the sticker off of it and struggled actually with that one a little bit more. But look, once you get enough heat on it, it just comes right off. And then I just glued it to the top of my little thing, and I found this box and I was like, yes, 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 yes. I was so happy. I walked through that whole store looking for something else that was shaped like those little pictures, that I could bring it up just a little bit more. And when I seen that box, I did a happy dance right there in the Dollar Tree, y'all. This one lady walked around the corner and literally asked me if I was okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm just having a really good day. And then you see for the little round ball, I'm just using one of the little ping pong balls that you get 6 to a pack. Then I took my good old trusty white Waverly chalk paint and went over the whole thing 2 times. Now, I loved it white. Loved it white. I'm redoing my living room, and I'm bringing a lot of white. It was red, so it was super dark in there. And I'm so mad at myself that I didn't get before pictures or do a before video of what my living room looked like before I started changing everything out from red to white. But man, oh man, has it brightened up that room. It has brightened it up like crazy. Now that's what my little lantern looks like so far, painted white. Beautiful, beautiful, just like it is. I could have put another coat on it and left it alone. But you know me, I have to distress everything down. And I really did want to distress this down. So I'm just going to go in and finish painting around the bottom. And I'm going to turn it upside down and get up in where those stripes are. I'm going to get up in there and paint all of that. Because if anybody like picked it up or looked at it or whatever, they would have seen those stripes. And y'all know I don't want an unfinished piece. So I just finished painting everything, painted the bottom. I just wanted to have one good, beautiful, uniform look about the whole thing. So once I did that and it dried, and I did take my little heat gun and gave it some help drying. Then I took my antique wax, and at first I was just going to go along the edges of everything and sort of just barely distress around the edges. And I ended up messing it up by accident. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to repaint over it. I'm just going to distress the whole thing down. So it's not the way I was going initially, but I liked the way it turned out in the end anyway. But it was a little bit too dark for what I had in mind. So once I got it all sort of distressed down with that, what is it called? The ink, antique wax. When I got it all distressed down with the antique wax and I set it on the shelf and got to looking at it, I was like, that is just too dark. I just didn't like it. It needed something else. So that's when I got my white Waverly chalk paint back out and just started lightening it back up some. And I did love the way it looked when I started lightening back the edges up. But then again, it still needed something else. And I was like, man, what does it need? So I kind of looked around through my stash and I found this ribbon that I got at Michael's the other day on clearance. And it fit perfectly around the edges of everything, and I was so glad that I put it around it because it was just what it needed to bring this little thing completely to life, and I love the way it looked on here. So once I got it placed all around the top and bottom sides of my little lantern, then I just made me a simple little bow by taking some of that ribbon and doing like a little, I don't know what they're called, just a regular little bow. And then I took a piece of twine and tied around the middle, cut it off, and glued it right to what I considered the front, which what I did is I just spun it around, and where I brought that ribbon together in the back, I just went to the opposite side and made that my front. I hope that makes sense. And put the little bow there, and that was it. It was done. I put a little bit of greenery in there and a candle, and look at how stinking adorable this lantern turned out. And I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, $5. $5 and maybe $5.50 if you want to consider the little bit of ribbon I've got in it. But isn't that beautiful? And it's a very substantial piece. It's not small. Now for DIY number 3, I found these long beads at the Dollar Tree, and they are gorgeous. Look at them, y'all. They're beautiful. They're long. But then, Dollar Tree, what are you doing? Like, the little tassels are just beautiful. They're perfect. And then they want to finish the other end with this? What the heck? It don't even look right. It doesn't match. It doesn't go together. And I needed a black and white beaded garland. They did most of the work for me by making the tassels and having them painted. So I just took all of the beads off of the string that they had it strung on. I got another piece of twine, and I just started beading them on, black, then white, then black, then white. And I did that until all of the beads were on there. And then I just simply took the 2 tassels that were left over, and I took the tip end of my twine. I ran it through the end of the tassel and tied it off into a double knot, snipped it off, and I did that on both ends, and it was done. And look at how beautiful this doggone thing turned out, y'all. If you were to hold it up from tassel end to tassel end, it's over 4 feet long. I mean, it is very long, but look how beautiful it is. And I personally think it is so high-end looking. The paint is beautiful. The tassels are beautiful. And it all came together when I did the black-white together. Oh my goodness, I just love it. I just love it. So definitely let me know what you think about how this turned out down in the comments below. Do you like it as much as I do? Now, I am going to start DIY number 4 off as a throwback. And this is my first video from 2023. And I want to try to put a throwback in as many of my videos as I can. So for my first throwback, I'm going to do this adorable little riser that you can make with Dollar Tree items. Now, the bottom of it is just a regular glass candlestick. The top of it is the smaller of the 2 tin burner covers that you can get at the Dollar Tree every single day. Now, when I made the video, I was doing the small one that I'm showing you now, and then the bigger ones with the pizza pan and the larger of the burner cover. So you're going to see me kind of mixing all of that in. Now, back then, y'all, I didn't have a clue what I was doing with the filming. I was filming in all different ratios, and it was horrible. So this is what it looked like before it got painted. Like I said, I took the smaller of the 2 burner covers, and I glued it to that glass candlestick. Once I got that done, I glued it now with hot glue and E6000 because I wanted to make sure that it would hold up a long time. And then when I finished that and it dried really good, I took it outside and I painted it with white spray paint. Now, white spray paint is going to be key in doing the next step. So make sure if you want to try this that you spray paint it with white spray paint because that's very important. So once you get it spray painted with white, you want to take a brownish color of alcohol ink, and you want to run a stream like you see me doing there, and use a dry paintbrush. Dry is key. You don't want anything wet except for your alcohol inks. Now that alcohol ink dries extremely fast. I mean within just a few strokes. And another important step is you want to go in one straight line up and down. Now, of course, you can curve on the edges a little bit, but you don't want to go up and down and then back and forth, or you're going to get like a checkerboard pattern. And wood grain does not have a checkerboard pattern. So once you get your little strip, you just rub up and down until you're not getting any more paint off of your paintbrush, or ink, should I say. And then when you do your next little line, make sure that you're real close to the one that you just finished so that it can overlap a hair, because that's where you're going to get your wood grain effect to start forming. And it turns out so beautiful. Now you can make little faux knots in your wood grain by just adding a little bit of ink. And I wonder if I show you. I don't know if I show you in this. I think I do in just a few minutes. So I'm going to leave that for just a few minutes. I'll get back to that in just a moment. Anyway, you want to continue to add your alcohol ink going in one direction until you get your piece fully covered. Now you can do glass, you can do metal, you can do plastic, you can do literally any form of base that you want to use with this alcohol ink, as long as you spray paint it white. Now, I don't recommend that you use something like a chalk paint or anything like that. Okay, now this is where I'm doing the little knot right here. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to do another one. It's been so long since I did this, y'all. It's been about 2.5 years, and I just can't remember. But I'm about 90% sure that I do another one, and I'll show you a little bit better how to do it. But anyway, you just want to make sure you go all over your piece that you're making and cover it with this alcohol ink. And when you're done, you have an option to just leave it like it is, or you can spray some polyacrylic over it to seal it, or you could even paint Mod Podge on it, or just whatever kind of sealant that you want to use. Now, I did not put anything on it. This has literally been, I want to say about 2.5, close to 3 years ago, and I still have these. They still look absolutely beautiful. The color has never worn or faded or anything, and I love them, and I use them all the time. And I cannot wait to hear down in the comments what you think about this throwback. So let me show you what it looked like whenever it was done and all completed. And like I said, it is one of my favorite things that I've ever done. And I use this method on cups that I make all of the time. I did want to darken it up here. I do remember now going back and darkening it up a little bit with another coat. But it's a method that I've always used when I make my tumblers that I make. And I thought, I wonder if I could do this on a tier tray and a riser. And sure enough, it worked. And I was tickled to death to find out that you could use it on different surfaces. And like I said, you've got glass and metal right here. And I have used it on plastics and other things, and it works absolutely perfect every time. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about this throwback, and let me know if you like the throwbacks, if you want me to throw one in every video, or would you rather it just here and there, because I really want to know what you think about it. Now let's do my final reveal on my original things in my video and talk about those for a second. I love this beautiful lantern. I think it turned out so pretty. I'm not as happy with the paint job as I had it pictured in my head. However, I ain't mad about it because it's still cute. It's still very high end, in my opinion, and I still love it so much. Now, those 3 little candles there are a brother or a cousin, whatever you want to call it, to the big candle that I originally pictured it with. A company sent me some candles, gosh, probably a year ago, and I had put them away in this huge box after I did my review on them and forgot about them. And when I was digging my Christmas stuff out, I found them again. And now they are literally all over my house. So anyway, let me know what you think about my video today. If you think it's high end, or do you think it's just kind of okay. But all four of them are definitely Dollar Tree. The only thing that's not Dollar Tree is the stencil that I used on the little tray right there, and the alcohol inks. So let me know what you think about this high-end rustic farmhouse Dollar Tree decor video. If you are chatting with me live right now, my gosh, I love y'all so much. You bring so much joy to me every time I premiere a video, and I love our conversations. I hope everyone had a wonderful new year, and I wish you the best in 2023. As always, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Be blessed. Bye now.